Welcome back to the channel, folks, and today we are taking a look at the VFC M249 gas blowback machine gun. I got this from eHobby Asia, and to be honest, I've always had a thing for saws, or 249s if you will, but I've always found the AEG versions to just have problems. Whether it's A&K having feeding issues or hop-up issues with a lot of their variants, you know, they sometimes can, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're fine, they're very hit or miss. Or the G&P, I heard, has issues with the pistol grip, can have some bad wobble, which can cause the gearbox to wobble, stuff like that. I've never really liked how AEG saws have been. And then when VFC came out with this, I was like, I gotta try it, especially because I've been on this gas blowback kick. And it's been, I'm hoping that after some upgrades, this thing can be really easily fieldable. But for now, let's talk about it in its current state as a gas gun and how it arrives out of the box. Now, I've obviously already taken apart and taken it out of the box, and then also gotten all the goodies out of there and stuff like that. But I figured I'd give you kind of a rough idea of how it shows up, which will be something along the lines of this, except this will be in all plastic, and then you will have your gas M4 magazine style gas reservoir. Comes, I think, in either a little box or it's wrapped up and it's like shoved down in here. But I'm putting this in my pocket to warm it up because I just got it really cold from filming the little intro. And then you get this really nice manual. Very nice, actually. Oh wait, no, I already have it partially open. This is what it looks like. Sorry. Definitely refer to this. Oh, that's the manual. And then you will also get this plunger style speed loader, which is kind of handy. It's a metal tube, and then it has this plunger. So what you do is, I believe what you need to do is you load the BB, or you hold this all the way top, and then there's like a hole right here you load BBs into, and then you'll line it up on top of the magazine, and then be like that. But you don't actually need this. And then mine, because I had to, for shipping laws, came with this orange tip on it, and then it had the flash hider that's currently on it inside of a Ziploc set aside. There was also loads of packing peanuts, as you can see, and like I said, lots of plastic everywhere. There was more cardboard inserts also that held it into place, and so yeah, that those were taken out just to, you know, so I didn't have to unbox it in front of you guys. So we'll set this aside. All right, and then here is the gun itself. I honestly think it's a beauty. And then so this is like the aftermarket flash hider. So the threads, so there is like a mini barrel extension underneath here. This has like a gajillion threads. Holy hell, hold on. So yeah, there's this barrel extension, and so these threads are counterclockwise, so 14mm negative or counterclockwise, but the threads underneath this barrel extension are actually 14mm positive, I believe. They were 14mm positive, so just as a heads up. So yeah, the threads are deep inside of this flash hider, so that's why it can slide on that far. And then again, it's lefty tighty, righty loosey, because of the negative threads. I really like this flash hider. I think it looks pretty badass on the gun once it's actually on. But otherwise, yeah, you can put other barrel extensions, flash hiders, or tracer units on there, which I think a tracer on this thing would be super cool, especially one of those ones that's got the fireball at the front of it. And then you have the carry handle. You just push that and pop it into place, and now it's ready to go. And then let's deploy the bipod to make life easy while I talk about the gun and set it up. And there it is, folks. So that is how this thing looks. I think it is a pretty cool looking gun overall. So let's talk about the external. So first off, let's just take a magnet and we'll start to comb over the parts and see what is and isn't steel. So starting with the flash hider, nothing there. This pin, however, up here is made out of steel, but not the front sight. It looks like it all. Nothing here. Nope, no steel. Bipod is not made out of steel. This, however, this pin and this, like, well, nope, just the pin here is steel. Nothing. Oh, that is steel. Nothing, 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 nothing. But the carry handle, like vise, the thing that the carry handle like mounts into and then clamps around the barrel, is made of steel. The carry handle itself is made of steel, which is very reassuring. That's nice. Means it's going to be nice and sturdy. However, the grip is obviously not. It's just like a textured, like polymer style grip. The barrel lever / release clamp doohickamadad is steel. That's also a part of that too. Same with the pin that secures it. The magazine well, the part that like clamps onto the M4 style gas reservoir, is made out of steel as well. Down here, the fire selector, well, it's not a fire selector, the safety switch is steel. The trigger guard is not, the trigger is not, that is not. And then let's see, is there anything else underneath here or on the other side? Let's check that. I think there are various bits. So this portion of the mechanism here is steel, and then this little ejection port cover is steel, and then I think that is it. Oh, the pin here is steel, and then there's another pin there, and then various bits back here are made out of steel as well, so like the front, the rear sight adjustments, and then like I said, some pins and rivets and stuff like that, but there's a pin there too. But yeah, overall most of the metal on here is all aluminum, and then I'm gonna put this in the center a little bit more. This is like nylon fiber / polymer, same with this. The grip, or the front hand grip here, that's like this cheap ass ABS plastic, probably my least favorite part, but then the rest is all either aluminum or it is a little bits of steel. So because of that, this gun is crazy lightweight, like really lightweight, like wee, like super easy to one hand, wee, like all day, no problems. So if you are a big realism buff, the lightweightness to it may upset you, or may make you feel like, you know, oh, it's kind of chimpsy or toyish, but it probably helped offset the cost, and it also makes it so that way if you want to run an LMG all day, this is the LMG to do it. Like, holy crap, this is the first actual light machine gun that isn't just all polymer. So I really do appreciate the aluminum construction, but some people may not. So overall, would I say that this gun's construction feels pretty solid? For the most part, yes. Just kind of cranking on it. I mean, the stock here is pretty solid. The carry handle just has a little bit of play to it, but it doesn't feel like it's going to fall off or anything, and it locks into place nicely. I really like that. The feed tray cover is really solid. When you open and close it, and it has a nice little pop back into place like that. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, you can squeeze the buttons as you close it to make life a little, you know, easier for that. And the rear sights don't look too bad, and it holds its level of adjustment decently. So if you want to adjust for elevation or height, there's that, and obviously you can see that moves aggressively. Otherwise, if you want to go windage for side to side, you can kind of see it moving, but there's that. I'm pretty sure the front sight, like the little post inside of the loop there, can be adjusted, but I don't really want to do that. So yeah, that can be moved around if necessary. But I'd say the weakest part, definitely the handguard. I believe it's just held in by like this singular lone pin, and again, it is just so plasticky and icky feeling. I mean, I'm not gonna let it like ruin my opinion of the gun or anything, but again, I just wish, like, come on, you know, could have been a little nicer. So overall, externally, it's not too bad. Now, internally though, talking about it a little bit, I don't have a whole lot of opinions as of yet on it, other than first and foremost, the bolt carrier appears to be made out of either aluminum or some kind of nice like alloy, and it looks pretty solid. There's been other YouTubers such as Explosive Enterprises that have used it for, they say, upwards of 20,000 rounds and have not had any issues, and that's really good to hear. And then inside of there you can see the recoil spring. It's been fine. I will say right away out of the box, this thing kind of needed a little bit of a break-in, a little extra lube around the guide rails for the bolt carrier here, and then a little bit up here, so when the charging handle mechanism slides over the top of it, it is not so rough, so that really helps. The other thing too is I think the hop-up chamber appears to be made out of metal, which is right here actually. Hop-up is kind of weird on this gun. There's no way to lift up on this, at least not as far as I'm aware, unless maybe you pull it back. I don't think you can. No, I don't think that comes up, and if it does, then I'm ignorant as to how to make it come up. Now, another thing to mention is that when this comes out of the box, this right here is your magazine or your cartridge. This is already loaded into the gun when it came out of the box too, so that like really surprised me. I was like, where the hell is it? And then all of a sudden I flipped it open and there it was. So this is the magazine, the actual thing that holds and feeds your BBs. Now, let me find the number on it. As you can see right there, it says 175, but they only recommend that you load it to 100. Right now, it looks like I don't even have 50 rounds in it. I will load it in a little bit. But yeah, that can hold up to 175 rounds, but it's not even recommended you load it that high. So I will say it is damn hard to even get it to 100. So if you're going to run this thing and you're going to run it with these cartridge things that look like P90 magazines, you're going to want to get like 10 of them at least, if not more. You're going to want a lot. And thankfully they're kind of cheap, but this is plastic, but again, it kind of resembles that of like a P90 magazine, so it's kind of cool. But more about the internals a little bit. So again, I don't know like, again, what's going on in here, because I haven't taken this thing apart, but just to kind of showcase, you know, when you pull the trigger to, like, quote-unquote, like, dry fire, and the bolt slams forward. It seems like all the parts in it are pretty durable and they're pretty rugged. And then a little bit about operation. Actually, a lot of it about operation. This is actually a lot of important stuff I want to talk about. So yeah, internally, it seems solid. I'm just going to leave it at that, but can't tell you too much about it. So first and foremost, if you wish to adjust your hop up, you will need to do so through the... Holy cow, I might need to zoom in. This... Where's my flashlight? That tiny little hole right there. Put on dim. There we go. Right there. You will need a 2mm Allen wrench to go into there like so. And then you just kind of got to like wiggle it until it slots in like that. And then it is counterclockwise. So lefty for more hop, and then clockwise for less hop. The hop up can definitely hop 3/0s, no problem, so you won't have to worry about that. You might even be able to do 3/2s or 3/6s when it's bone stock, but yeah, 3/0s is not a problem in this gun. But again, I may need to finally tune it in a little bit here when we do some shooting testing. But yeah, that's how you do that. So that's the hop up adjustment. Second thing is when you are gonna cock back on the charging handle, make sure the gun is off safety, so the red ring is out, and it is not like this, so you want it to be like that. And then you can cock back the charging handle. Again, you're going to need to be a little forceful on it, especially right away. But once you get it kind of broken in, as you can see, it's very smooth and easy for me. But at first, it was not like that. And the other thing, too, to note is that there's almost like 2 stages to it locking back. There's like, let's see, it's kind of stiff like right now, of course. Like there, and then there's there. And so it can fire from that like first one, but if you don't cock it all the way back, you will notice that the loading nozzle in there, oops, is partially stuck forward, so the BB may not be able to come down and get loaded in, but it can still fire. So yeah, just be aware of that. The next thing is right in there is your dry fire switch. So right now, I can dry fire this gun when the magazine or the cartridge thing is in, and obviously there's gas inside. But if you were to, I think you need to mess with it like that, yeah. You flip that switch forward like that, and now this will still dry fire, like the bolt will still slam forward, but once you run out of ammo, the magazine will cut off your gas flow, so it'll just go like that, and that's all that'll happen. So if you want to be able to show this off to your friends with no ammo inside of it, flip that switch, but again, cock the bolt back. Definitely do that. So then that way you will be able to dry fire. Now, another thing to note too, is I already had BBs in this, but if you have a ton of ammo in there and the BBs can't get, you know, depressed inward to the magazine like so very easily, you will want to make sure that the bolt is locked back like so. And again, make sure this is your, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is your loading nozzle, and that long thing on top is the loading arm. You want to make sure that this is pulled back from the hop-up chamber, so it is not sitting there. And again, because you can do that like 2-stage cocking job like right there. See how it's still extended? So then you got to pull it back further to get the nozzle retention spring to yank it back. So again, you don't want the nozzle to be there when you load a full magazine inside of the gun. In order to do that too, by the way, there is this little itty bitty spine on it right here that has some spring action on there. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that that slots into here, into this big groove. You want that down here. And then up here, there's this like little circular thing that will help lock it into place. As you can see, there's like a groove right there, and then there's these teeth to help you pick it out. So yeah, just to show that again, you want to kind of just line it up in there, and I did not do that right, sorry about that. There we go. And then just kind of click it in like that, just kind of make sure it's all good and dandy and fine, and put that down. Just click that into place. And again, when you fire it, I would obviously recommend that you have the charging handle forward. Otherwise, if you have it back, you know, when you first shoot it, I think if you have it pulled too far back, it won't even let you fire. But if you had it like here, then the bolt carrier is going to have to carry this with it. Just kind of wastes, you know, some energy for it. And then once you are ready, you have it all loaded up, right? Once you're ready with that, here is the M4 style gas reservoir. So this is not a magazine. This is, well, it looks like it could have been. But it's not an actual M4 magazine. This is just a gas reservoir. So in here is where there's like a plunger that connects to that right inside of there, right here. So this will protrude into that plunger, and then once it does, gas will start to flow into the gun. But if you load this with gas inside of the gun, when the bolt is forward, the gun will go and shoot and lock the bolt back. So if you had a BB in the chamber, you would have a little bit of a negligent discharge. And another thing to note is that when you are loading and unloading this thing into here with gas in here, which there is gas in here, it's a bit tricky. You will need to like make sure that when you get it lined up and then just drive it home like that, and don't hesitate. And then when you want to unload it, the best way to do it, I've noticed, is put a little pressure on it, press down on the switch, and then just give it a tug out real quick. You might hear a little bit of a, like you heard it, it was like, there's a little bit of a gas discharge, but otherwise it's not too bad. Again, you just want to make sure it's driven home in there. Now real quick too, I want to show you guys loading the magazine real quick. So when you take it out, I've noticed that it's best to just kind of pull down on the feed lips actually, because pressing on these ridges, like, not to sound like a wuss, but it kind of hurts. If you have gloves on, it's fine. So with the magazine, it's, as you can see, it's actually got the ability to be loaded top down relatively easily. There's like a BB size hole there. So what I like to do is just kind of hold it on the ground and then take the speed loader, put it right on top, use my fingers to align it. And it's a little tricky at first, but once you start getting going, it's not that bad. I'll just use the rest of the BBs that are inside of this mag. And then, there, it looks like it's got, how many rounds is that? Well, it looks like we got 75. So that's not too bad. All right, now I figured we'll go give it a little chrono test. So we'll put this in here. And... okay, yep, sometimes it doesn't make any noise when it locks back. It's kind of concerning, I won't lie. So now, let's see, gotta get it in just right. There we go. Drive it home, give it a smack just to make sure, and then I just like to make sure that it's ready to go. It's ready to go, folks, so let's go give this a chrono. Alright, so we're at the chrono. I got it set for 0.30 gram BBs, and I tried to fill the mag up with as much gas as I could. I'm really low on green gas, so the tests we do with green gas are actually going to be kind of dog shit, so I apologize. But we will try to do the best that we can here for you folks. Alright, 1.6 joules, that's like 410 to 415 with the 2.0 in terms of that equivalence. It's really hard to just squeeze off one BB. So it looks like, I mean, I did more than 10 shots, but first it was a little toasty, then we settled down to about 1.44 to 1.45, 46 joules with 3.0s, which that's around 395 or so with a 2.0. That's actually very respectable. That is a very, very solid velocity right out of the box. I'm going to see if I can get a rate of fire test with some green gas for you guys on the M4 style gas reservoir. This thing has been a little funky with the green gas. Let's see what it does. Well, that was strange. Okay. It, like, jammed, I think. That's not good. Hopefully there's nothing damaged in the gun, but yeah, I think one of the BBs was just not doing so hot. Let's try that again. That is not a good reading. I don't know what's going on with it. It's acting really funky. I think the gas mag is just not operating properly. I don't know. It's definitely having some issues, but I believe it's around 15 rounds a second. I was able to get a chrono or a good rate of fire reading recently. I don't know what the hell's up with that. Huh, strange. Well, that's not good. That doesn't bode well for this review. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I think it got overfilled actually, and it's causing for the nozzle to ice up. Hold on. See that? The nozzle's like frosty. It's like over discharging gas. Here, I can like wipe it off a little bit. Notice how I just did that? But yeah, it's like got some frost on it, so I don't know what's going on. I think the mag has just got some terrible cooldown going on. I don't really know. That's kind of lame, but we're going to talk about that when we get a little further into this review, but it's like it's doing bursts. It's doing all right now. Well, I'm going to let this warm up. I'm not going to fill it up with any more gas, and I figured we'll take it out and shoot it at the 70-foot target. I'm not even going to bother with the 125-foot one, as this thing just looks like it's not having it. And then we'll do another test with this, but with HPA, because I feel like that this M4 gas magazine reservoir, this thing is a piece of shit for this gun. It's not adequate. It's terrible, but more about that later. Alright, so you guys are zoomed in at the 70-foot, 9-inch diameter target. I got G&G 3.0s in this thing, and I put some gas back into the magazine because it did need it a little bit, and I got probably about 75 or 70 rounds or so in this. We'll see how this does. I'm just going to do short little bursts with it. I might miss the first few shots while I get my aim acclimated. Hopefully the hop is well adjusted, but you never know. We're out. That actually didn't do too bad. Whoa, almost knocked the camera. Alright guys, let's see if we can hit the target at 125 feet. I'm probably going to miss the first few like little bursts just to get my aim acquired, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this is going to be tough. For some reason, my shots are hooking to the right, but, like, I feel like there's no breeze. Let me shoot at a different thing real quick. Yeah, they're hooking a little bit. I don't know if there's, like, a slight breeze that I'm unaware of, but, yeah, I'm going to have to compensate for that. Just struggling so bad. I'm out of ammo. That was pretty abysmal, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Due to the window being open and having the cold air exposed to the magazine, and the fact that I don't have a whole lot of green gas to begin with, but yeah, the mag is freezing right now. This just isn't gonna work, Chief. If it was a warmer day, but again, I'm in my house still, shooting out the window. If it was a warmer day, we'd have better results, but that was rough. I'm not gonna lie. Not a very great first impression with this gun so far. Okay, so first impressions, it's fun. It packs a punch, but this green gas reservoir that is the M4 style one is atrocious for an LMG. It just doesn't hold enough gas. The bolt, I think, is a little too big, slightly too heavy, and it has too much of a long stroke to power this sufficiently. Absolute joke that they think that this is okay for a gas reservoir. It is freezing. Like, I'd have to guess it's probably like 40 degrees or something like that. It's so cold. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Celsius, that'd be really hot. But yeah, this M4 magazine gas reservoir is just unusable with this, folks. Overall, okay, so if you were just to use it like this would be like horrible. Like, it's a horrible gun. Good within like 100 feet, but beyond that, terrible. We barely hit that 125-foot target. The thing barely made it through one gas magazine. I had it loaded to about 115 rounds. It wasn't quite at the 120 mark. And I did gas it up before I shot at the 125-foot target. I gassed it up and I warmed it up. As you saw, it was doing okay at first, and then there was like I don't know if there is a breeze or not. I can't really tell. But shots were kind of hooking to the right. I'd have to get another gun and shoot it for some reason. And then, yeah, it was just a disaster for me. So, I don't know, man. That was kind of disappointing, but I didn't buy it to use it like this. And you won't either. Even if you don't convert it to HPA, ditch this. This is useless. This might as well just be a door stopper, or it might become like, you know, a melee weapon that you use, or your new hammer to hammer in nails, because that's about as good as it's going to get for that. Sell this to somebody who's an idiot and thinks this is fine for a gas reservoir. I'm sorry if you think that, but no. But we're going to convert this into HPA, and then we'll see if this thing has a little bit more of a fair go. Okay, folks, so now we have it running off of HPA, as you can see, and I'm only at about 110 PSI, and notice the night and day difference in the way this thing cycles now. That is insane! I find it weird. Like, look at that. It's in that, like, weird half-cocked state. I'm not really sure what's up with that or how that works and how it can do that. Let's see if I, like, feather the trigger again. Like, there. Maybe it has to do with where I'm stopping my trigger pull, and it's just getting stuck halfway forward. But I guess all that matters is, you know, as long as it proceeds to be able to go forward and the BB gets chambered, it'll work just fine. But that thing's insane! It's a buzzsaw! Holy shit! Okay, so now I think we can give this thing more of a fair shakedown on the chrono. So let me fold the bipod away as it is getting in the way. And then let's give this thing some shots. Again, I'm using G&G 3.0s and just under 110 PSI, or right around there. Consistent in the world still, but it looks like we're hovering between like 1.55 and like 1.6 joules. I'll probably have to turn down the PSI a little bit to get it legal for my field, because I'm only supposed to be at around 1.5. I can go just a tad bit over, but 1.61, like you see there, is just a little hot. I think when maybe it could be misreading, I'm not sure. Seems to be extremely consistent. Oh, that was like a really bad shot. I don't know what happened, but that was like really weak. That doesn't count. Yeah, we're right around 340, so 1.6 joules with 3Ls. Let's do a rate of fire test now. Looks like just under 16. That's solid. It sounds like it's faster when it dry fires. I won't lie. 16. That's pretty good. So yeah, and again, just under 1.6 joules there. I'm going to turn down the PSI and see if I can get it at 1.5 on the money. Okay, so now I got the PSI turned down a little bit more. Let me look at what it's at. It looks like we're at, I would say, like, right about 100. That seems to be about it. Let me make sure my air is good. Yeah, I still got 1,000 PSI in my little tank here. If you're also wondering how I'm feeding this right now, I got an AirTech UK box magazine adapter. That is also how this HPA adapter is being used as well. It's with the AirTech UK one. And that is what is feeding the gun as we speak right now. So yeah, I'm going to just, you know, that's obviously an electric switch. So yeah, it's pretty good right now. Well, that one was a little toasty. But 1.53. I could probably afford to turn it down just a tad bit more. That was like 150 on the dot. But yeah, it looks like it's just maybe still a tiny bit too hot. Let me turn it down just a smidgen real quick while I'm on camera. Okay, so it's turned down a little more, so it's probably going to be running at like 95 PSI or something like that. Hopefully it still operates nicely. Oh crap, I think I just shot the shit out of everything in the background because the BB ricocheted off the chrono. Yeah, there we go, 1.49. Still 16 RPS. Or no, that's 15, not 16. I can't read. Let me wind the mag a little more. Make sure we got plenty of spring tension in there. And then let me get the chrono centered a little more properly so we don't have another mishap. Yeah, 15. And then again, right at 1.5. That's perfect. And it seems to be chugging a little bit, but yeah, I am at just under 100 PSI. But that seems to be pretty okay for this gun. It looks like it's doing well, but now I think we can go and we can give it a real fair shakedown at my targets. Alright, so we got G&G 3.0s inside of my A&K box mag. And we also have it at still 100 PSI, and we're zoomed in on the 70-foot target. So let's see how this thing lets it rip. Yeah, this is a lot more fun and a lot more effective. As you can see though, there are definitely some flyers. This thing will need a bucking upgrade for sure. Luckily, I've been following a channel that advertised this said bucking upgrade, but let's go see how it does at 125 feet first. Alright, so you guys are zoomed in at the 125-foot target. Same gun, same BB weight, all that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we got plenty of ammo. Let's see how this thing does. I'm going to just kind of try to mount it off to the side here a little bit, and then see if... I think there is a tad bit of a breeze, so yeah. The BBs are probably going to be super hard to see because, as you saw, they're kind of grayish, and the snow and the dead everything background just makes them hard to stand out. But we'll see how it does. Again, I might have to acclimate my aim, but let's see what we do. I have no idea where my BBs are going. You gotta give me a second. Okay, it looks like they are being taken by a bit of a breeze. Let me tilt the gun. This is really hard to see. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. This is a tough test to perform. It's kind of bad at that range still. I can't see my BB, so I can't really adjust my aim all that well. And again, like this weird little breeze or whatever is kind of disrupting my ability to be able to hit them at the targets anyways. But yeah, this kind of sucks. All right, hold on a sec. I'm running low on ammo. And on air. Well, as you saw at the end there, I was able to hit it a little better once I found out where the BBs were going, but not the best test, I'm not gonna lie. Let me see if I can get a little bit of a better test. Alright, so I got some white Mad Bull .32s in the gun. I don't know if this is actually gonna do much of anything. Let me do a test fire at the wheelbarrow quick. Okay, let's bring it to the target now. Oh, my battery's almost dead. I think you get the point. It's not the best gun, honestly, out of the box anyways.
6 months later.
Okay, after about 6 months or so of finally messing around with this gun, I got it into a decent spot. So, what I have changed since then, since I last filmed, is number one, there is an aftermarket inner barrel installed. It's a Maple Leaf Crazy Jet. Number two, got an aftermarket bucking. It's by this company called like T8 or something like that. I'm gonna put it up on screen. Number three, we got this nice upper heat shield right here that's made by A&K. I think it was only like 15 or 20 bucks. I think it's just plastic, but it looks really good. It makes the gun look more complete, more whole. I thought it looked a little naked up through here before. And then I also have a new box mag. This is a Cybergun box mag. It's the 2000 rounder. It's sound winding. It's actually really, really good. And I've been running this thing on 0.30 gram BBs for a while, and it seems to be running really flawlessly. I think I have probably put between 15 and 20,000 cycles on this thing, I want to say. And I'll take it apart for you guys to take a look at in terms of the internals. But it looks like it's doing really, really good. It's a little dirty. It seems like it's just permanently dirty, which is kind of dumb, but it is what it is. But yeah, we'll pull this out. So let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hold on. Dumb. So I'll show you guys how to do that. So there's this like little square thing back here. You gotta like press it forward and then wiggle it up and out. So there's the recoil spring assembly. And now this can come out, and that will hopefully just balance there. So yeah, this is the gun, or excuse me, this is the bolt carrier from the gun. And as you can see, there's a little scuffing here, and that's about it though. I mean, that's pretty minor. Might need a little more lubrication up there is what I'm getting from that. But yeah, I mean, that's really dirty. That's just grease. But outside of that, it seems to be fine. There's no damage to it. The nozzle looks okay, albeit again a little dirty. But yeah, no excessive wear, nothing like that. Nothing's bending or broken or like rattly or loose. Nozzle return spring still nice and strong. It's been a pleasure using this thing for the most part. Overall, I really cannot complain too much about this gun. It's been really, really reliable. It is more accurate now. The power of it has definitely increased. I have to run it at just under like 100 psi, so like around like 95 or so, to get it. Man, this thing really, there we go. To get it so that way it's not shooting hot. And then after that, it seems to be pretty good. It's definitely still not the most accurate. I do want to try to find another and like better inner barrel. I've heard that Unicorn Airsoft is really good, and that's the one I should maybe look at, is that brand for an inner barrel. But overall, I mean, my experience with this gun, let me just make sure this is okay. Okay, yeah, we're good. Overall, my experience with this gun is significantly better. I figured I'll give it one more shooting test with some .30s and a little bit of HPA, and just to wrap this up for good. But yeah, this thing is pretty awesome, I have to say. I've actually really enjoyed fielding it. With HPA at about 100 psi, you can expect, depending on the tank, usually about one shot for 1 psi, maybe a little less, like one shot is like 1.1 psi of the tank. So I've been running a 4500 psi, I think it's like a 50-ish cubic unit tank, and it lasts probably about 4,000 shots before it's depleted, maybe a little less, like 3,500, but yeah, I can get like almost 2 box mags out of it, and that's a 2,000 rounder, so yeah. Overall, I have really enjoyed this gun throughout this season. I'm sorry that I didn't really like make this review sooner, but I thought that it would be really good to get this information out there and for people to see after using the shit out of it. No major malfunctions, no major jams, no major breakdowns, nothing. This thing, other than the barrel and the bucking, is completely stock, and I've loved it. I will say though, you're still definitely going to want to run HPA if you can. Otherwise, definitely get the big box magazine style gas reservoirs. And I also want to give a shout out to Explosive Enterprises and their interview of this gun, not interview, their review. I want to give a shout out to them for that, because they provided a lot of information about this, which helped influence me to get this gun, but also helped me along the way you know, in terms of like being able to build it up and make it what it is. And I've really enjoyed it, and so far it's just been a blast using this thing, and I can't wait to keep using it some more. So yeah, I'm going to do a shooting test with it to kind of end the video kind of on a bit of a different note. But that is my overall thoughts on the VFC M249, is that once you get a barrel and bucking, HPA it, or just get the big gas reservoir, it's actually a really good gun and it's a lot of fun. But if you try to use it stock, you're probably going to have a bad time. So make sure that you definitely upgrade this thing, and I think you'll be in for a real treat. It's definitely way cheaper than a Daytona gun, and I would say probably more air efficient and overall effective. And it's also just, it's a really great gateway into gas blowbacks, I think, for a lot of people. Being that it's reliable and that you only need to do a couple of upgrades to get it up and running the way that you really would like it to be, you know, in terms of performance, it's a great gun, honestly. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully it lasts for many, many more rounds. And even if it doesn't, there's a lot of replacement parts on WGC Shop. So, hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully it was informative to somebody out there. Stay tuned for more getting posted eventually. I'm very slow at doing that these days. But most importantly, and as always, happy airsofting.